Mr. Wang, since you mainly work in steel industry sales, could you tell us about the situation in the steel industry?
After I graduated, I worked in a state-owned steel company in China. I started on the production line and later moved to the export department. I began working in overseas sales around the end of 2005 or the beginning of 2006. I've been stationed overseas for more than 10 years now. As for the steel industry in Indonesia, I'm fairly familiar with it. When I first arrived here, in Indonesia, as far as I know, there are several steel companies or steel mills. There is one relatively large state-owned steel company whose annual output at that time was about 6 million tons. In addition, there are a few privately owned steel companies, each producing 2 to 3 million tons. Altogether, the total annual output back then, around 2006 or 2007, was a little over 10 million tons. Up to now, it has developed to more than 30 million tons, somewhere between the high 20s to over 30 million tons. Compared to China, that's still relatively small. This is because Indonesia is a country where agriculture, fisheries, and also rubber and similar industries are more developed and play a bigger role. The steel industry here is still relatively weak, but in recent years its development has been quite good, with many Chinese coming here to invest. There are quite a few steel plants, as everyone knows, or within the Chinese community in Indonesia, the most well-known is Tsingshan Steel. Mainly, they handle everything from laterite nickel or smelting to ferronickel to stainless steel. They've grown extremely large, and they are the biggest example of a Chinese private enterprise going overseas, especially to Indonesia. Their stainless steel is now ranked #1 in the world, I believe. In addition, there's another company from our Hebei province. Long Steel has also invested in Indonesia, and now its annual production has reached 7 million tons.
That's quite a lot. It should account for a significant portion of the total. Yes, it's a very large share.
Right. In Indonesia's steel industry, Chinese investment is considerable. Additionally, local Chinese Indonesians and Indonesians have set up steel factories with annual outputs over 100,000, several 100,000, or even 1 million tons. But overall, most still focus on ordinary steel. Rebar, wire rod, sheet metal, and so on. Chinese companies like Tsingshan and Dexon can produce some stainless steel. Original version.
High-end steel.
High-end ones, yes. So in Indonesia, most of the high-quality and specialty steels still rely on imports. However, Indonesia is now implementing some controls on these high-quality and specialty steels. From a policy perspective, there are certain quota requirements, which locally we refer to as the Jun permit. In addition, there are also SNI requirements. SNI stands for the Indonesian National Standard. To enter their market, you need to obtain their certification. Yes. It's also somewhat challenging. When we first came here in 2006 and 2007, none of these existed. At that time, there was also some related steel trade in Indonesia. There are policy requirements and restrictions on import and export policies, including for finished steel products. For us Chinese, doing trade and business here has indeed encountered some resistance. Sometimes these difficulties can really be quite a headache.
When I first arrived, I noticed that there were a lot of building materials like steel profiles along the roadside, things like angle irons and so on. There are so many scattered around. Could you explain what the sales model is like here? For example, the sales process from top to bottom, or maybe even working backwards from the bottom up?
I think the general situation is pretty much the same everywhere. Let me give you an example. Our company is a steel company based in China. I mainly deal with high quality and special steel. When we export to the local market, there are generally 2 or 3 channels. One channel is that since we have people and a team here, we can reach the end users directly. For example, our high quality and special steel is used to make parts for cars, motorcycles, ships, machinery, and all kinds of components. We will approach the forging factories and supply them directly. Yes, as for business, this accounts for about 60% to 70% of our operations. As for the rest, we also supply to large local steel stockists. They import the steel and then further distribute it, and going through several levels of distribution. For example, the shops you saw earlier on the street displaying steel products, those are retail stores. Above them, there may be dealers, and above the dealers, there are large stockists. But that's basically how it works. There's another category as well, which is for engineering projects here. Many Chinese people, including numerous Chinese state-owned enterprises, are responsible for constructing large local factories. These projects require steel structures and steel materials. In such cases, we deliver bulk orders directly from China straight to the project site. This is also one way of entering the Indonesian market.